Oklahoma had a big time commit I guess this past weekend. It would have happened, I believe, on Sunday. Might have been yesterday that it was broken, but it was really good news for Oklahoma going into the 2026 cycle and taking a look at what they've got going, because it would have been Oklahoma's first running back in the cycle, the number 18 running back in the 2026 class, and that is DeZephen Walker. And I might be pronouncing his first name wrong, but he's a great running back, a four-star running back that Oklahoma picked up. And it was definitely a good blue chip running back to pick up. He's 6 foot, 205 pounds, out of Peculiar, Missouri. And just overall, this was a pickup. It was kind of shocking, a little bit shocking, but it was a good pickup for Oklahoma for obvious reasons. If you go and look at some of his highlight tape from what he's got, yeah, I mean it's very, very fun, very exciting. He's never been to the campus before this past weekend, which was kind of what made this a little bit of a shocker. The fact that Walker, he had never been to Oklahoma, never been around Oklahoma, and in fact, I think it's only been maybe 6 weeks. It was just over. I mean, just very short time ago that Oklahoma even offered a scholarship to Walker. So it was kind of crazy that he ended up picking Oklahoma, who is the latest on his recruitment trail. Just considering that other teams that would have been kind of all in on him for quite some time, he really had, he had several others. I know there was Nebraska, Kansas State, and I feel like there's some others in there too that had a little bit more familiarity with DeZephen Walker, and what he was looking for. I mean, he had been in contact with these schools for quite some time, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Oklahoma comes up on the scene, and it seemed like that was, I mentioned it whenever Oklahoma first scheduled the visit with Walker here on this channel, that, this is a guy that Oklahoma was looking forward to. Oklahoma was hoping to be able to get their foot in the door, and they felt pretty good about their chances. Obviously there was a couple of other schools that seemed to be creeping in, and mainly that Nebraska, Kansas, and Kansas State were the ones that seemed to really be all in on Walker, mainly because of just how long they have been eyeing him and how often they had been contacting him. So the fact that he came in this past weekend, went and visited Oklahoma, and right off the bat, he was there. He was ready to go. He wanted Oklahoma. It was obviously Oklahoma had a lot of disadvantages too when it came to this recruitment trail with DeZephen Walker, which again just made it even that much more surprising that we heard of this commitment this soon and this quickly after Oklahoma's visit. The first time he visits campus and he's ready to say, this is it. This is where I want to go. He had a visit scheduled for June 20th with Nebraska. So he was going to go to Lincoln, Nebraska, go visit there, ended up canceling that and deciding, hey, I'm just going to make my commitment here with Oklahoma. And for those of you who know, Brent Venables kind of has a rule. I don't know how strict this rule is, but he does have a rule with any kind of commitment. If you're going to make a commitment to me, then you're done with visiting. You're not going to other schools. That's kind of his rule that he sets for those who commit. So for recruits that are committing to Oklahoma, he tells them, don't commit until you've had all your visits. Go take your visits if you want to, but if you're visiting, I don't want you to take those visits. Now, I don't know how strict he is on those, but that's something. And so obviously Walker ends up committing to Oklahoma, and really too, if you think about those other three, it was more with the how close to home he would have been with the other three, which Oklahoma's not that much further. But Peculiar, Missouri would have been closer to either Lincoln, Manhattan, or Lawrence. So it would have been a little bit closer. That was one reason why I think those are the three that really jumped out as being the leaders for his commitment. But then Oklahoma jumping in really isn't that much further of a travel from home. But ultimately, so it was when he gave his commitment to Oklahoma, that pretty much sealed the deal. And I know Parker Thune over with OU Insider. Parker's a great friend. He had a little bit of an interview with him and talked to him, and he asked Walker when it was that he actually made that commitment, when he actually decided that this is where he's going. And he told Parker Thune over on OU Insider that it was actually Sunday right before he left that he made that commitment. And, they were all fired up. All the coaching staff was fired up, very excited. Obviously, with DeMarco Murray and Brent Venables probably being the two bigger ones in there. I'm sure Ben Arbuckle, big one on his recruitment as well. He said that they were all fired up. They were very surprised, and rightfully so. It's kind of a shock that after coming to Oklahoma just one time, he's like, I'm good. I'm going to cancel my other visits. I'm ready to go. Let's go here. So, the fact that he did that, it was a lot of fun. It was pretty awesome that he made his commitment that quickly for Oklahoma. He even mentioned to Parker Thune over at OU Insider. He said, Coach Murray, he really emphasized that he liked his explosive speed. That's one thing that DeMarco Murray really likes, and he thinks that DeMarco Murray thinks that DeZephen Walker can help this offense with those big explosive plays. And even the fact that he feels that as a freshman, Walker might be able to come in and even make some kind of play for the team. I don't know how often he'll see the field, but he feels like he's going to be able to figure something out to where he fits the offense well enough to where he'll be in there even as a freshman, which is pretty big. And then, of course, being able to develop on top of that, really, really big. So DeMarco Murray, big time. He was pushing really hard for this. As soon as he started making those calls to Walker, offering that scholarship, and then trying to work it out with him, it's been a very tedious process for DeMarco Murray as he's been trying to get in on this. He wants Walker to come to Oklahoma, and so he's been pushing really hard for it, which was really obvious too. With again, the fact that they were able to flip this thing around in just a few weeks, and so it really not that long of a recruiting relationship with Walker, and they were able to turn it around. So, and DeMarco Murray was a big reason why Walker was even interested in Oklahoma, because he's said this before, that he believes that, DeMarco Murray is an OU guy and is also an NFL guy. He's been to the league. He knows what it takes to get to the league. And that's ultimately what most of these kids' goal is. Yes, I think NIL kind of makes it a little bit more confusing as far as when should I go? Should I just take my money while I've got it here and maybe go for another year of certainty here at the college level? But there's still a longevity that you aim for getting into the league and being able to do it there. So yeah, there's obvious reasons too that you want to make it to the league. You want to make it there where you can get in there. You can. Knowing that DeMarco Murray knows what it takes, that's the big thing that really drew him in. So this is one of the biggest recruits on the top of my mind, one of the biggest running back recruits that DeMarco Murray has gotten, which is really big for him. And again, like I said, the first running back of this 2026 cycle for Oklahoma as a whole. So DeZephen Walker, really good recruit, really good commit that Oklahoma got, and that's the commit that Oklahoma is really focusing in on right now, because it's important. The running back room is going to dwindle down in this upcoming offseason. You think of guys like Javonte Barnes, older guy, and I don't know how much Jaden Ott is going to be there. I think he has 2 years of eligibility. Don't hold me to that, but will he just take off after this season? Who knows? And I think adding a guy like Walker is really good for Oklahoma going forward. So this is a really big commit. Obviously not breaking news anymore. This happened, I believe, it was either yesterday or Sunday that the news broke on that too. And huge shout out to Parker Thune over at OU Insider too. He's the one that I saw break that one.